Hello and welcome back to week 2, day 1 of the United Draft Kingdom Invitational. I am your host, the British Borrow. I'm here with Foz again. Now, this is the second time I've started this recording because Sessio137 from the first match has not turned up on time, so we're going to have to move straight on to the second match. So the first match here is going to be Major Modi 1 against Yosh, and then we'll move back to the first match, hopefully if Sessio137 does turn up. So yeah, let me at Major Modi 1 and Yosh. And then I'll create a new draft link. Okay, so we have Major Modi 1 on blue, and we have Sessio137 on red. Create that, copy this, send this to you.
Thank you.
Put it on the stream. Okay, and then we have Major Modi 1. Oops, wait, what am I doing? It's meant to be Yosh. I made it wrong. Major Modi 1 and Yosh. Okay. We're off to a great start today. Let's try this draft. Okay. I'll send you the new spec link.
Thank you.
And then I'll send Major Modi 1 the new spec link, the new draft link. Then I'll send Yosh the new draft link. Okay. So hopefully this second draft we can get going, get the show on the road. So yes, currently we have Sessio137 in first place with Yosh in second place. But anything can happen here in week 2. Anything at all. Okay, we have Yosh ready, just waiting for Major Modi.
And we are almost off the races.
Nearly. Nearly. Was it Group B or Group D last time that was really like scrappy, like all in? I think it was D, right?
It was the last group, I think.
Yeah. We'll be seeing more of them tomorrow. So the schedule for those of you in the stream, today we're doing B and then C.
Really?
Apparently the link's not working for Major Modi. 1 second.
Is it the usual stuff with the draft ball?
I might have to remake the draft again.
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah, I'll just try remaking it one more time. Okay, new thing on the stream. Which doesn't want to clip in. Oh, it was doing it there. There we go. No, that's not right. Come on, clip in. There we go. Okay, this one to you.
Surely.
This one to Major Modi. And this one to Yosh. Okay, yeah, surely we can get going. I hope.
Josh is ready. Major Modi has maybe problems again.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, there we go. Finally.
Okay, we're going. The first draft of Group B. Second
Out of
round.
the big lead. Let's go.
Let's see what we get. Karma and Ash. These are two very popular champions so far this tournament, with Karma being one of the most popular. I'd say Varus has also been 100% presence, but I think those are the only two.
Yep. Where's ban on red? Sidrani ban. That's respectable ban. It's fine.
I wonder what that indicates. Like, what are you looking for on B1 with a Sedge ban?
I wouldn't know, to be honest, because Sedge is a flexible pick. I think it's just the flex, the power of a pick.
Yeah.
So I don't know what would specifically struggling to Sedge.
And an Aurora ban as well.
Aurora. Yeah.
Interesting. So we've taken out Karma, Sedge, and Aurora. On blue side, let's see what the B1 is. Ziggs.
Ziggs.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Very flexible. Mid and bot lane champ. Very, very
Now we
powerful.
have Leona
individually too.
open.
We do. We have
Yes.
Ivern and Leona on 1-2. I quite like
Yep.
that into Ziggs as well. Here we go. Ivern. Leona.
Oh,
Solid start.
that's pretty good for Josh, I would say. Ziggs is also not a bad pick there. I'm not saying that he is, but it's a good answer. So let's see how this continues.
How do you proceed down this Ziggs line? Maybe like Zeri plus jungle? Maybe try to draft something that can invade Ivern with pushing lanes.
Preferences. Okay.
I'm not a fan of Corki into Ivern. One, it doesn't really break through the shields that easily, and two, it doesn't really get pushed in mid and into a lot of matchups, and then three,
Breaks the flex.
yeah, exactly. It has to be mid.
I think
Corki
R3
and
Yone
bot
is
Ziggs
winning.
now.
R3 Yone is winning, by the way. Yone into Corki is a very
interesting.
good champ. Yes.
And we see the Udyr.
I think R3 Yone here easily. Easily a good pick.
I can see it. It's
Yone
a
Ivern goes
flex
hard.
as well.
Yes. And then you can save your last pick for something.
I think you
very
should
techy.
save top to 5 because this Udyr is a jungle top flex, right? If Udyr goes to top, then one of the best lanes into Udyr is Darius. If there's more melee champs on the team, really nice, but also Darius Ivern goes very hard. Zeri, yeah, I like that. It's flexible. It can go bot with Leona or it can go mid. And it's very, very good into the Udyr as well. It's very hard for him to ever actually interact with her. Sante taken away. So we're looking to, yeah, we're looking to remove some good blind tops on the side of red, I guess, which would suggest you're not expecting Udyr to go top. I actually think Nasus would have been a much more
Better pick on blue, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't think you would blind it either way because mid and bot are shown. So like if it's a mid open,
Yeah,
it would be a much better pick.
yeah, true. A lot of the flexibility from picking Nasus isn't there anymore. since you already have your mid lane role locked in.
Yeah.
Okay, Zyra taken away.
I don't think Zyra would play too well into this.
Okay, Azol kind of makes sense. I mean, it's quite a hard lane into the Corki, but there's not a great deal of threat on him in the draft so far, so...
True.
Maybe like an R5 Azol could come in, though I would expect R5 to go to top lane. Do you just pick Ezreal? Oh no, Ezreal's banned.
Yeah.
It's hard because you want to counter
Yone,
top. Yeah, you could just Yone and then
Yone.
say that... Actually...
Jax will be blinding top.
Interesting. I much prefer the line of going Yone because then Yone is flexing top mid and Zeri is flexing mid bot. Whereas this starts to sort of like the dominant, like you know this Jax is going top, and now you can pick into the Jax.
See what we end up picking.
Braum?
Right.
Okay.
From 6. That's respectable.
Yeah.
And then
I just had a thought, by the way. Looking at this draft, I think Smolder goes pretty hard on R5. You just put Smolder bot into the Ziggs Braum. You keep the Zeri mid. Oh yeah, Smolder's crazy here. Unfortunately, this is kind of the problem, right? You get a good counter pick into the Jax with the Garen in top lane. That's a really nice matchup for Garen. So Jax is now playing a losing lane. If we'd done Yone before, we could have put Smolder top, Yone... Oh, we're playing Zeri bot.
Yeah, so okay. Orianna mid. So more AP damage.
I'm not really a fan of the 4-5 from Yosh here.
Me neither. I think Yone would be huge. But it's not being picked, so... What else could be good here? Like, Silence could actually work as well.
Yeah, I think the great thing about the Yone is that it flexes mid and top. So if you can find another champion that would flex mid and top, let's say...
Yasuo is open.
I mean, also Smolder, right? You could just do Smolder straight away, but then you wouldn't see the Braum. Yasuo, yeah, maybe. There's not a great deal of setup for him, though. But the Wind Wall does have good value here. But yeah, okay. Thoughts on the draft overall?
I think Jax is kind of good into these jumps.
He's really bad into Garen, but he's good into the rest. Well, not so much Ziggs. Corki, Udyr, Braum.
He does play with Ivan and Leona, so getting to that backline is not going to be a problem for Jax.
Oh, it's Orianna Corki. Oh, it's Corki bot lane, actually.
Wait, what? Really? Oh, that makes it infinitely worse for...
Yeah, I think so too. I think Zeri Leona into Corki Braum is... I mean, Ziggs into Ori, I guess, is like nicer than Corki into Ori.
I mean, it's pretty neutral either way. It's a farming lane. So you don't care too much. Neither is going to lose, really.
Yeah. Okay, problems I'm seeing for red. Definitely Garen. There's only really Zeri that's great at dealing with him. Given that he's winning his lane matchup so hard, it's a really, really good lane matchup for Garen. Like, Jax has almost no counterplay. Problems for blue, definitely Zeri. It's really hard for blue to actually contain this Zeri, which is why I would have preferred if she was in a solo lane, because then obviously she's going to be higher level, she's going to be stronger overall. What do you think in this draft? We need to rate it now.
Yeah, I think both sides have very defined strengths and weaknesses. I would go 55 towards red here. I think they look more compact, and they're answering less, but they're doing more. If that makes sense. Yeah. Like, they do have the synergies between, let's say, Ivan, Leona, Zeri. It's all three champions are very good synergy. And then you have Leona, Orianna. You have Orianna, Jax. Like, they have stuff that they can play with or through. And it doesn't rely on a wombo combo. It's just synergies between champions and how well they can play. That being said, Ziggs can also be a monster in this game.
Luckily, they do have Ivan to help mitigate some of that.
Yes. But still, like any positional like bomb in advance, any minefield in advance, it's gonna do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And that can be an issue, but they also have Braum on bot lane. So the advantages Ziggs is gonna get are very minimum, if any, in the early stages of the game. So it does require for him to get a couple of items at a steady pace rather than getting ahead, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So in overall, I would say slightly tipping towards red here. I would say 55 or 60. Let's just say 64 towards red, just because of the compact and like a compact draft that they have. Udyr is a little bit of an AFK jungler. He does like to play tempo game for the objectives, while you have Braum Ziggs, which is a little bit AFK. Quirk is also a little bit AFK. Garen does play without a TP as well, so you cannot play map properly compared to the red side team.
Yes.
So a little bit over the place. So like the synergies between champions are lacking on blue side, even though they are in some ways correct answers to red. But they themselves as a group, they don't know what they're doing completely, while as red does. So I would go 60-40 towards red here.
Okay. Yeah, I think also like blue, I still think it would be better if Corki was mid and Ziggs was bot. So I feel like that takes a little bit away. I think what blue has going for it is just like laning strength with the Garen. Well, I guess with Corki and bot though, it's not so much. But Udyr can sort of take camps away from Ivan. I just don't know if Ivan cares. And Udyr's job isn't easy this game. Like, it's hard for him to actually get access to targets. The same is kind of true of Garen. Like, when you look at Zeri, she's kind of unchecked in this draft. And then Ziggs poke being somewhat mitigated by Ivan. I do think it's slightly red favored, but also I think it's close. And it's hard for blue to actually... It's difficult to get much done as blue. Do you know what I mean? So...
Yes, exactly. I think it's just the synergies between champions are not there.
So you went 40-60.
Yeah, 40-60.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think in vacuum it makes sense what you're picking, but like as a team, when you look at it, like what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
You know, that's how I look at it. So you
Yeah,
have to be very careful when you're drafting that it makes sense for you to play this. Not just looking at the enemy team, oh, they picked this, I'm gonna counter this. It also needs to fit your comp and your win con as well.
I also I'm not a big fan of Corki bot lane at all.
Oh yeah, I even forgot that it's Corki bot lane. I think that just makes it a little bit worse as well. I think Ziggs bot lane would be much better, and then like try to get this Corki to elevate a little bit inside the mid game. Then he can be more impactful. Ziggs is gonna be Ziggs no matter what.
I put the score on the wrong match because I thought that it was the first match, but it was actually the second because of like scheduling and stuff. There we go. Okay. I'll create the second draft now and start sending out some links, which should be the third draft, but we'll still have to see if Cessio actually turns up at any point today. Hopefully so. So next we have Frege on blue side and Yosh once again on red side. Let's get these set up and sent out. One for you.
Yep.
One for you. One for you. Okay. Links have been sent, and we can look forward to the second game starting shortly. Oh god, it's warm today. Okay, we've started. Good. Good. Quickly getting into the next match. Now, Foz, what do you think we should do about Cessio?
I'm still not sure, but if he doesn't show up throughout the whole thing here, I think just forfeit.
If he doesn't show up by the end of the stream, then it's going to have to be a forfeit because there was no notice given or anything.
Yeah. And we just spread out 100 points to everyone, I think, so it's fine.
Yeah, just make the points even.
Yeah.
Okay, Ezreal, Ivan, and Varus. Did Varus make it through the whole draft last time, or was it banned? I can't remember. It was probably banned, right?
It was banned. Last, yeah, this was banned. This one banned. Yeah.
Same here. Varus and Karma taken away. Ezreal and Ivan. Yes. So that Ivan Leona combo is broken up. There's no Ezreal Karma. That's gone as well. Jarvan taken away. Yep. Interesting. So I would suspect an Ashe B1. Like, thinking about what's left with the Jarvan ban. Could also be looking for like a Jinx angle or something. What else really hates Jarvan? That you might B1. Oh, Ashe taken away. So
anything in mobile.
Yeah. Ashe is taken away. Which is weird, because now I think it's like Lilia is still really strong for B1. I think Zeri is another one. But then you wouldn't really ban Jarvan if you're picking Zeri. We'll have to see what comes in. Lilia, okay.
Lilia makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a strong pick. Really pleasable B1. Let's see the answer.
There's a line on red where you can do MF on 3, and then you have Lilia MF, but on blue, if you do that, then they can pick Braum into you. It's a bit trickier on blue side.
I think Milio is better in that case then.
Okay, yeah, maybe Milio.
Because Milio also counters a lot of engaged champions.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you don't go MF Leona specifically, it's going to be hard to play into Milio.
Smolder. It's a triple flex.
Yeah, not a bad pick. Let's see what we round up with. I think should pick jungle here. Okay, that's a good pick.
I think with Lilia, something like Yone or Yasuo, and like have it deny Smolder from solo lane, and then you can pick a bot lane. Like,
yes.
You could do like Yasuo Draven or something, you know, like a bot lane that will destroy Smolder, and then where can Smolder actually end up? It becomes very difficult to place the Smolder. You do Yone as well. Okay, there's Draven. Draven also kind of pushes Smolder away from mid lane, because Smolder can't play mid into Draven either. So you could do Draven mid here and hold that flex instead of like the Yone top mid flex. You can hold the Draven bot mid flex. And Braum comes in.
I'm not a fan of Braum.
Yeah, it's a bit weird here.
Yeah. I think you just slam Seraphine now.
On red. Seraphine?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you should still maybe Melio. Okay, but Leona's fine. It's just fine. Sejuani Leona, it's a nice combo.
The thing is, like, Lilia ult is not that threatening unless it goes with something. Like, GP ult is a prime example, MF ult is a prime example, but like Lilia ult itself, you're not expecting her to 5-man every time. So it is playable against. Yeah. I think Lilia's strengths are coming from other things rather than her ult.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. When you don't have like an MF as well, then...
Yeah.
Okay, Zig's taken away.
I think it's very simple for Red to draft here still. I think you just go for the AD champion here, like ADC. Because you're not going to put Smolder bot here 100%. You're just slamming something that's okay into Draven.
But also, then you're kind of saying Smolder's going mid. Or Smolder's going top, rather, because then Draven can go mid. Like, this Draven pick really does follow the Smolder quite well. Yeah, you do. Yeah.
So the blue needs to decide who goes mid, who goes AD, you know? So in that aspect, you can still play around it. You will have to triple counter Smolder, which then leaves other two lanes. So like it's easy to, I mean, what I'm saying is easy to draft around it. It's playable.
Yeah. I think that is a really good way to draft into Smolder though. Like, let's say you have a Draven and a Yone on your team. Just with those two, you can cover all 3 lanes, and it's really hard for him to actually go anywhere. Nasus coming in. Okay, Nasus is pretty good into what's shown on
Also flex, yes.
On blue, yeah. Also flexes.
Very respectable.
Ezreal's
Very
not
tanky
available
team.
either, so you can't play Ezreal.
Is there a line with Neela here? On blue.
Neela. Maybe. Neela's very good into 3 champs shown. Aurelion Sol.
Okay, this one.
Yeah, I kind of
So
like it.
this
Yeah.
was pretty good into Nessus,
Yeah, he is.
like in lane.
Yep.
He doesn't care about his W with his flight, so you can't really stop him getting away from you.
What goes top lane here, the blue side? Because I think that really... I think you have to pick something that beats Smolder top.
And Nessus.
Gwen?
That's a lot of AP damage. A lot.
It is a lot of AP damage.
So what are we doing here? I still think you pick ADC and just have a good lane into Draven.
Do you think? What's the best pick with Leona into Draven at this point? Jhin?
It's tricky.
MF?
MF
Into
MF
Braum,
is
though?
not it, though.
Yeah, MF into Braum.
I mean,
kind of
it's good for lane, though. I think they win lane because of that.
I was still
MF
thinking
Leona is stronger.
I was still thinking Yasuo Yone in this spot. Like maybe Aurelia. Something that would just murder this ASOL.
Or you could go Silas.
You could go Silas too.
And then you take the L on bot lane with the Smolder.
Yeah.
But they have Braum, so they don't really threaten to kill you all that much. So you just take the disadvantage of bot lane matchup. Yeah, I think that's a proper way. And then you just counter this ASOL.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't necessarily go Aurelia, like, because there's a Braum in the game. I really don't like that. And there's also Lilia. I don't think Aurelia is good into Lilia either. So I would pick something like Silas. I think Silas would be so good here. It would enable a lot of early game potential, a lot of roaming.
Okay, Frege has told me now that Gwen was meant to be Aatrox, but it's too late because R5 had already come in. There's nothing we can do about it at this point.
Yes.
But
I don't think Aatrox would have made change.
Here we have Nasus going top and Smolder going mid for red, confirmed. And then blue is as you would expect. So, let's talk about what I do like. I do like ASOL into either Smolder or Nasus. However, he can get killed by like Sejuani, Leona, MF stuff. But it's MF into Braum, which is what I don't like. I think this bot lane is actually decent for blue, just because of Braum into MF is really nice. Normally MF lanes are actually pretty good into Draven, but MF struggles very hard into Braum. I think there's too much magic damage on blue side, so you're kind of... There's a lot of weight on Draven's shoulders. What are your thoughts? I don't think it's a stomp either way.
Like the problem with blue is it's literally AFK. So if you're Lilia here, where do you go? You're just perma farming. That's what you're doing. You cannot have reliable prio with the Draven Braum. It's just not reliable.
Yeah.
Even if it's a winning lane, it's not a reliable prio.
I think you can play topside though, with Gwen into Nasus and ASOL into Smolder.
Yeah, but if that by itself,
he's not going to die.
That by itself is investing into AP damage heavy champs.
Yeah,
which can easily be like, I think Sejuani is such a good champion against AP dealers.
Like Sedge, Leon, and Nasus itemizing MR here are just gods.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So Nasus doesn't really care if he dies even. Gwen can become a monster, that is true.
She can also get withered though.
Yeah, she can get withered.
Quite susceptible to wither.
Yes. And if you're giving too much attention towards topside, your Draven is suffering, and why have a Draven? He's the only 80 damage. And if Draven falls behind, if he's not having any advantages, then he's like half a champion MF and Smolder are.
Yeah.
So you need to execute Draven in a way where he gets the advantages. So you have pretty much all AFK lanes on blue. They're doing nothing. Like, as you said, Lilia can only go top, but that's even without a setup, by the way. Like, Nasus needs to be overextending. Nasus needs to be, like, not having W on time.
Yep.
There's a lot of things that need to be, like, considered here to make this work. Even a gank, even a single gank. While on red side, you do have potential to do a lot of ganks. I think the only way you don't is the mid lane. Like, Gwen getting withered on top into a Sejuani gank, she's dead.
Oh yeah, definitely. Sejuani Nasus is quite scary, actually.
Yeah. Leona MF, Sejuani gank.
No, I mean
dead.
even Asol can die to Sejuani Leona Smolder.
Yeah,
like to the
too.
3 of them.
Yeah,
Die.
Definitely playable. I'm like, the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm leaning on the red side.
I'm thinking like
I would say
65 red.
Like around 60. Yeah, I would say 60. I think there is a scaling option for blue if things go quiet. I think Asol, Gwen, Lilia do outscale Smolder.
No, this is the wrong
there is that MR problem. That is true, but a lot of these champions also don't care that much about it. A lot of true damage, a lot of like max HP damage, and all that. That also kind of mitigates the MR to a degree. So unless
it is actually a pretty good Asol game as well. Like the things that are threatening him don't kill him; they just get on him. There's not a lot of follow up.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe I'll go down from 65, 60. We agree so far across the board.
Yeah.
I do think it's much easier I do think it's easier for red to win. Maybe not much easier, but easier.
Yeah, it's definitely easier to execute as well. Very simple stuff. You have more tools as well. Keep that in mind. Like the tools that blue has, very limited. Like, what do you do exactly? Like, you're praying for purple Asolar, and like a long range Lilia maybe.
Yeah, you're looking.
It's very hard to get.
You're looking for like a Lilia combo, really.
Yeah, but it's very hard to execute this, in my opinion, because like you're gonna have Sejuani Leona always in front, and these guys are gonna be very far away from you, both Smolder and MF. They're just looking to R.
Yeah. Okay. We've got Major Modi 1 versus Frege, which may be the final draft we get to do in this group. We will have to see. Unfortunately, Sessio is still not here, it seems. So let me send you the spectator link to this game. And then I'll copy the draft link. And I'll send this to Major Modi. And I'll send the next one to Frege. And then we're good to go. As soon as the participants are ready, the draft will begin.
Let's get it.
So how's it looking? Actually, both of these people, they're kind of in a battle against each other right now, you see, in the leaderboard. Because let's say Sessio forfeits, right? It would be Yosh going through, and then whoever wins this. If Sessio doesn't forfeit, then I think Sessio maybe gets through. We would have to see.
Oh, so Major Modi and Frege, can you write them in chat? Like, whoever wins this goes through, pretty much. If Sessio doesn't show up.
Yeah, I mean,
because we're delayed 5 minutes.
We'll give they'll see it soon anyway.
Okay.
We'll give Sessio, like, we'll do the other group.
They know what's on the line. They know what's on the line. That's what I mean.
Yeah, we'll start the other group, and then if Sessio still doesn't turn up, then there's not much we can do.
I'll be right back in a minute. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, I'll just go through the bans. I got this. So we get Varus ban on blue side. One of the most popular champs. Normally a red side ban, but maybe not comfortable with playing the Varus line on blue side. Requires some finicky drafting around, specifically things like Jarvan and Yasuo. Zeri ban on red side, and then Sejuani ban on blue side. We've seen mostly the same things. I'd expect like a Karma ban, maybe an Ashe ban. Maybe we see a Jarvan ban again. Maybe we see an Ivern ban. These sorts of things. Lilia ban. Interesting. Something new. Something new coming in. Okay, Leona. So breaking up the Ivan Leona the other way. I do think there's more options though. You can do like Ivan Braum, Ivan Rel, Ivan Alistair. But two of those are sort of disengage heavy. So less easy to blind than something like Leona, which is a bit more flexible in what it can do. A Karma's still available. So whatever we see on B1, we could, at this point, we could see an Ezreal Karma R1, R2 response, which is something that I think leads into a variety of good drafts. Poppy taken away. I think for Major Modi 1, you kind of want to split up the Ezreal and the Karma right now. Yeah, there you go. You take the Ezreal. Now, do you take the Karma? Yeah, there you go. You split up the Ezreal and the Karma. This leaves Olaf still available on R3 for Frege, but Olaf not really good into Ezreal, so probably not going to come in.
I'm back.
Hello.
Hello. Sorry about that.
So we've got Ezreal B1 into Karma R1. We'll see what gets paired with the Karma.
Yeah.
I think in this spot it's normally a Zeri pick. Smolder, okay. I think Zeri Ivern looks very good for blue right now. Or you could do like Yone or Draven, maybe. Yasuo. What if you just sent like Yasuo Diana? Because Poppy's banned on red. Or Yasuo Gragas and flex the Gragas into top.
You could. Ivan Yasuo looks good.
You can do Ivan
Or Ivan
Yasuo
Yone.
too. Yeah, I think like
Ivan...
Yone is a bit better with Ivan than Yasuo.
Yeah.
Yasuo looks like
definitely
Diana.
works better. Yeah. I mean, you could use Daisy knockout, but that's not too reliable, I would say. It takes a lot of time to set up.
Yeah.
But it's still like, I mean, nothing is really bad with Ivan when it comes to AD.
Another champ that's really good in this draft, like so far, is Aurelia. Okay, Draven. What do you go for on support here? You play like a Maokai game, or not support, rather jungle. Olaf into Ezreal. I mean, it's kind of good into the Ivan Draven, but into the Ezreal it struggles. And now you can just keep drafting around it in on blue side.
I hope we also ban Jarvan. Oh, actually, Jarvan cannot be played, right?
Yeah, with Ivan locked.
I think Ivan is pretty much just a...
Pretty much just jungle,
just a jungler, yeah. I don't think it's too viable in mid and support.
I would only play it outside of jungle if you have like something going on with a Rengar.
Mm-hmm.
Jack's taken away. I would say that indicates Olaf looking to go top. Which is, is by far his best role. I think he's a lot weaker in jungle than he is in top. Renata taken away. Looking for a Draven pairing. I think Draven would rather be paired with something like a Rel at this point, though.
I think the problem here is kind of need AP top, no?
On blue side? Yeah, I'm thinking Aurora into the Olaf.
Yeah. That would be a much better ban than Jax.
Silas taken away. Interesting. Are we thinking of picking something? Okay, I think he was hovering Silas ban and then banned Asol. I think he was thinking about going Asol, so he was banning Silas, but then he was like, what if they take Asol? And then he banned. But I don't think it's very easy to pick Asol for red right now. You're either laning against Ezreal or Draven, and both of those destroy you.
I mean, you just pick a jungler here and you're fine.
Yeah.
You just send all off top. It's okay. Taking Aurora away from picking pick.
Okay, no, it's 8. So it's all off jungle. So that's a lot weaker, I think.
This whole team comp dies to Aurelia pick, but just saying.
Aurelia is crazy. Yeah.
It's literally no CC on the enemy here, and it goes really well into Aatrox. But you would have to compensate with some AP damage. Wait, what?
This is really bad into Karma Smolder.
Yes, it's really bad on top as well. And it's really bad in mid.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah, this swing can't really.
You're You just walk into Silas pick as well.
Oh, he didn't ban it. Silas has difficult lanes. Oh no, if it's top Swain with Taric support.
He does have a difficult lane, but with Swain ult, he's like the god tier.
Yeah, okay, this looks good. I was just something with like really high range. I was thinking maybe for bot lane, you could do like a Jinx or a Ziggs. I think I'd prefer Ziggs bot to Hui mid here. I would definitely prefer Ziggs bot to Hui mid. Because then you're playing Ziggs Karma into Draven Taric, which is pretty miserable for them.
Yeah, maybe I overdid it with Silas pick. Just Draven does sound miserable. You can't really gank it because you have all of jungle.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't like the Swain. I'm not a big fan of the Taric either. Yeah. I don't really like the Olaf being in jungle. So it is Ezreal mid here. It's Draven bot lane.
Yeah.
And then
Draven
Blues...
bot lane, Ezreal mid.
The thing is, Draven's good into Smolder, right? But I don't think with Draven Taric...
Yeah, you have Karma. It's like... doesn't really...
I don't think you can actually move him.
Yeah. Then Olaf comes, and then you have a lot of problems.
I've seen Ezreal mid versus Hui with watching Nemesis. It's Ezreal favored early. Hui very quickly neutralizes, though. As soon as he can clear waves, it just becomes very neutral. And, I mean, top is just so Aatrox favored. As soon as Aatrox gets like level 7, he just starts murdering him.
Yeah, not only is it Aatrox favored, Swain doesn't really do anything in this draft.
Yes.
Absolutely nothing. Like, even if you look at it, like, in Olaf's Smolder Karma, it's really hard to play this champion. You do have a pairing of Taric Swain, but the red can play range as well. They don't have to rush in with Olaf.
Yeah, they can play the range, and
even
then
if
go
they
in
do,
with...
they also keep him alive easily.
Yeah.
Which is really weird that we pick here. The only good pick I see into red team here is actually Ezreal. The rest is, I don't think Ivern is so good here at all. I think Ivern is an amazing pick in general. I don't think it's good because you don't really have anyone to play with. You kind of only want to go bot lane here and play with Draven. You want to do some crazy flash plays with Taric and just force stuff, but then again, you're playing into Karma Smolder that can get away pretty easily as well.
To simplify the whole thing, on that. What do you do about Karma Smolder Hui throwing spells at you? What's the...
I mean, you can keep defending yourself with Ivern Taric. I don't see that being too much of a problem.
Eventually, Smolder will become a problem, though.
Yeah, I mean, yes, of course. I mean, if you're talking about super late game here, or like just any amount of stacks on Smolder that enables him, I think it's just red favored easily. Like, the only hopes you have early game for blue is, I mean, they're Draven Taric Ivern. That's how you play the game. And that is actually very hard to execute, in my opinion, because the Smolder Karma is being shown. Smolder is a huge, Karma is a huge neutralizing pick on bot lane. She is, like, half of the champion is just prio. And it's really hard to play into that.
Yep.
And, I mean, it is what it is, sadly. I think this is huge red side win.
I think this is the biggest win we've seen. Yeah, I think this is the biggest win we've seen so far.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like is that you've ended up with Olaf in the jungle to blind an Aatrox. That could have been really hard punished. It just wasn't. But I don't like taking that line. But it ended up okay. So I do think Red are winning like a 70-30. You going 75-35? 75-25? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I see that Olaf is also like not a jungler really. I don't think his problem's there though. Because there's nothing you can do about it.
Alright. Well, that concludes the games that we can play for Group C today. Now, we'll have to see if Cessio comes back and fights for his spot in the playoffs. If he does not come back, then the games will be forfeited, and it would proceed like this, right? It would be Yosh and Frege going through, with Yosh as first seed, Frege as second seed. Major Modi is hoping for Cessio to come back. because that would give him another draft where he can overtake, and also give the other two another draft where they can lose. So yeah, Major Brody hoping Sessio comes back by the end of the stream. Okay, we'll take a short break and then we'll move into Group D. Thanks for watching, guys. Back in a little bit.